morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We wanted to start today by telling you all about the work of the DEOs, District Emergency Organizations, and they're telling us that volunteering will empower our communities. So to talk to us more about this, we have back with us this morning consultant in the Department of Emergency Management, Selwyn Brooks. It's always good to have you with us.
It's nice to be here.
And today he's brought along Natasha Morgan, who's chairperson of the St. Philip West DEO. So good to have you here as well, Natasha.
Thank you.
And good to see you again.
Pleasure to see you.
I feel like every time I see someone, I'm like, I haven't seen you in so long. So it's really great
good
to see you here on Morning Barbados. So the DEM is celebrating the invaluable contribution of the DEO volunteers on International Volunteer Day, which is coming up a month from today. So talk to us. Let me start with you, Selwyn, about the importance of volunteers to organizations, first of all, like district emergency organizations.
Well, the district emergency organizations form an integral part of the department's community response mechanism, and that allows persons who reside in the various communities to volunteer their services, their skills, and more importantly, to see how we can engage community as we seek to higher levels of community resilience. Volunteerism is something that it is a commendable thing, and no government will ever be able to give everything that a community may need. And what lies within a community is a diverse of resources and skills, and persons who are so oriented or who have that tenacity to want to give back. The DEOs are here to encourage them, to engage them, and to see how they can, via the training that they would receive from time to time, help to build that level of resilience to the various hazards that are likely to impact the community from time to time.
All right, so Natasha, how did you get into volunteering with the DEO or being a part of the DEO generally?
I have a close family friend who is a part of the roving response team and also a volunteer with the DEO. And he had been encouraging me for years to join, to provide my skill sets to the organization. And I thought it was too busy and I shied away from it a bit. But then as we realized that the climate is changing and we're being impacted more and more at the community level with disasters and hazards, it really prompted me to offer my skills to the DEO and try to contribute at that level. So I joined around 2020, the middle of 2020, and I've been a member since.
All right, that certainly was a good time to join. Wasn't much to do, really, for the average person who was staying at home. Now you have an event that's coming up, though, for the volunteers. It's a bit of a showcase. Yes. So tell me more about that.
International Volunteers Day is celebrated around the world on the 5th of November each year. Now, since that happens on the day during the week, it would not have been appropriate to engage in the DEOs who will be working and have that activity. So we are celebrating that on December the 7th at the Lester School. This initiative and this program will bring DEOs from across the 30 DEOs that are in existence to showcase their skills, the capacity, by demonstrating to the general public what they're capable of doing. So there's an opportunity for the public to come and see exactly what the DEOs are capable of doing.
All right, and it's so important for us to be able to kind of understand how we can be a part. Natasha, you mentioned that you brought some of your unique skill sets to the DEO. What are some of the skill sets that will be shown off during this particular presentation?
So on the 7th, there will be simulations in relation to shelter management, vulnerable persons, communications. So in general, we want to showcase how we would respond in situations of crisis at the operational level. And it is in an effort to also highlight the training that the DEOs are provided by the Department of Emergency Management, and we'll be doing that in collaboration with a lot of our partners. So for example, we'll have the Fire Service, the Barbados Police Service, we also will be having the Ministry of Education, the disabilities unit, and those other persons that we usually are engaged with.
All right, that's beautiful. Now, Selwyn, are there any specific areas that you're always looking to engage people with, or that you want people to volunteer for? I know you accept volunteers across the board, but I would imagine there are some skill sets that are in high demand all of the time that you would love people who are maybe viewing to, realize, it might be a great idea to volunteer their services a few hours every month, or when there are matters of national concern to the district emergency organization.
Yes, when you consider emergency and the level of impact that is likely to happen, medical expertise is always a need. The gamut of things involved after an impact merits that persons who are skilled, artisans, professional persons, to put a whole concept of a community response is multifaceted. So persons who are skilled in the use of the chainsaw, persons who are skilled in the use of people empowerment, persons who are skilled to relate to the disabled community, persons who have certain skills that they can bring to the table, whether it be administrative, whether it be whatever your best interest is, the DEO can encompass what you're offering. All in an effort to see how we can mobilize community, engage community, utilize the resources that lie within the community, all to a common cause of building higher levels of resilience when we are impacted. It does not matter if. One day we will be impacted, and we must be prepared for whatever comes our way.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways that we can be impacted. Just even if we consider only our geographical location, or kind of SIDS status as well, really puts us out there. But 2020 was definitely a year for us to really recognize all the things that can happen, not only here but across the world, and see how it's all interrelated and very, very interconnected. So the event happens on December 7th. Remind us where, tell us how we can be a part of it, and why everybody needs to come out.
Well, we want to extend an invitation to all Barbadians. It's on Saturday, December the 7th at the Lester Vaughan School in Cane Garden. We'll be beginning promptly at 9:30, and we will go through to approximately 4. Come and share with the DEOs, show appreciation for what they do, and by seeing what are some of the skill sets, we're hoping that would encourage persons to come on board, because it is not only about demonstrating what we're capable of doing, it is about what we can do to encourage persons to join the respective DEOs across the 30 constituents. And we're hoping that as we prepare and as we end this year's hurricane season, it is a continuum. We now have to start preparing for whatever may come our way on a continuous basis, and not only just a hurricane, but a whole range of comprehensive disaster management.
Absolutely. And because you're here representing the St. Philip West DEO as Chairperson, Natasha, you get to kind of engage the people of that area on why they should support the DEO, come out and volunteer.
I would say this to St. Philip West and to the entire country of Barbados. We are the eyes and ears of the community at our level. We are the operational response teams. We need everyone to have a community-minded approach to disaster management, and that's why we encourage every Barbadian to contribute as much as they can. We need to be our brother's keepers, and we are there when the impact happens, and therefore we'd be best suited to respond as soon as possible and to provide the necessary information for the Department of Emergency Management to make those critical decisions. So it is a community effort, it's a countrywide effort, it's a national effort. And therefore we want to encourage persons to join the district emergency organizations, provide the skills that you have, support your communities, build community resilience and independence within homes, and let's educate each other on how we can survive these impacts. They may be big, and some of them may be small as something like flooding. When we have bad weather, we need to understand how we need to approach these hazards and how best we can manage them individually, and as households in general, that we can support what the department is doing.
Absolutely. And finally, for you, Selwyn, I know this is all about, a lot of the times, response, but it's also about being proactive. So getting ahead of, any eventuality and making sure that we have a plan.
Yes, we have always encouraged persons across the board to have a mechanism in terms of they will know what an emergency response plan and what are the components of that plan. And by having that level of proactiveness in determining what you need to do, it means that you're likely to minimize the loss of life and damage, and your rehabilitation and your recovery processes will be significantly reduced because you were able to reduce the impact. So you don't wait until something happens to determine what you're going to do. It is that you prepare for it so you can respond to it adequately, and your recovery will be much shorter period of time.
Okay.
And I just want to add as well that on November 23rd, the St. Philip West DEO, in collaboration with the department, will be having a pop-up in support of the International Volunteer Day. And this will take place at the Emerald City Supermarket on that compound from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And the focus on that day will be health and managing health during crisis. But we'll be displaying as the St. Philip West what we do at our level. And it will also give persons a sneak preview of what's to come on December 7th for International Volunteer Day.
All right, excellent. So thank you both for coming in and sharing with us. Always great to hear about the work that the district emergency organizations are kind of getting up to, but even more wonderful to be able to welcome a new cadre of volunteers, hopefully, into the fold as you prepare for this event on December 7th at the Lester Vaughan School. So, that's pretty central if you think about it. So make sure you get on out and maybe bring out a lot of the little ones so they are on top of things when it comes to disaster preparedness as well. Selwyn Brooks and Natasha Morgan, thank you so much for your time this morning.
You're
nice to be
welcome.
here.
It was a pleasure.
All right, have a great weekend.
Thanks, Susan.
All right.
Morning, morning, morning.